Unfortunately, I had some issues with the recording equipment yesterday, so I was not able to successfully make a video. But here we are. So getting over Shabbos. I want you to think for a quick second. Okay, we know the famous story. I forget if it was the altar or maybe it was Shaar himself, that somebody came to him and said, he's a Baal Bitachon. He was supposed to go buy a lottery ticket. He said he wants to understand, like, test it maybe. I forget the details. He came back to him and he said, how much is it for? And he said, fantastic amount. Let's just use modern numbers. He said, it's $100 million ticket. So he says, okay, so I'll give you $90 million. $90 million is a lot of money. But then again, so is $10 million is also a lot of money. The guy's like, 90 million cash right now before the drawing? Yeah, I'll take it. So Rizal said, so if that's true, then you don't really have bitachon. Nobody would take a $10 million loss, even though it's only 90 million is a lot, but nobody would take a $10 million loss if they really believed their ticket was the winning ticket. All right, we all know that story. But what if the guy had said, no, I'm not selling you the ticket. This is the winning ticket, I have bitachon. Then what? Then he would have won? That would have been the end of that? I want you to think about something for a quick second. I need to really think. Just imagine for a moment that, you believe in the idea of bitachon. Life isn't always perfect, but you put your trust in Hashem. And one day you meet someone, and he's telling you how he lost his job, and things are hard, halevovos. It's been rough. He's having trouble paying his bills. You say to him, look, I don't have any good advice to offer you, but there's an amazing Shaar on bitachon on YouTube. Look it up. Shaar bitachon YouTube guy. It's the Maggid of Bayswater, Laser Weiss, incredible. Maybe it'll help you. And the guy says, bitachon bishmachon. Get real. Get out of here with your garbage bitachon. I know that stuff's a bunch of nonsense. You say, really? Why? How do you know? Last year, somebody told me the same thing, and I sat down, and I learned Musar, not Shaykh. I was so into it. I was completely enveloped. I was totally 100% clear that I had real bitachon. And so I went, and I bought a lottery ticket for $100 million. You say, you bought a lottery ticket for $100 million? Why? What do you mean, why? About $100 million? I would never have to worry. I could give so much tzedakah. I could sit and learn. I could never work for the day for the rest of my life. Practically, I could invest the money and never just put it in a bank, live on the dividends. I could serve Hashem the best ever. I could pay for my kids' bills. They could all sit and learn Torah. But I don't understand. Right now, what are causing your daigas in life? Right now. What do you mean? What's causing my daigas in life? I can't pay my bills. Okay. All right. We're going to assume that there's no health issues in your family. No. There's no emotional, psychological trauma going on. No. So right now, the only thing that you are worrying about, and it's overwhelming, is your bills. You have a tremendous, and so you don't know what to do. And so you could rely on Hashem. So you're saying, I did. I turned to Hashem, and I said to Hashem, help me win this money so that I will never have to stress about relying on you ever again. What? Does that make sense? Think about it. Let's think about it for a second. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please help me win $100 million so that I will never ever have to turn to you again and say, Hashem, I'm nervous about my next paycheck. I need to rely on you. I don't need to rely on you. You gave me $100 million already. Thank you, Hashem. Now, if I would need to rely on you, you would have to make someone in my family sick. Or, chas v'shalom, some other issue, right? Have somebody in my family get mugged or something else. Because the money stuff we already dealt with. Is that what you... Does that even sound like it could... Like, what a paradox. Hashem, I have bitachon that I will never have to have bitachon again. I'm relying on you that you will put me in a matzav of never having to rely on you. Does that sound like bitachon to you? Or does that sound like an impossible paradox where you're convincing yourself to believe in something that's delusionally hypocritical because the power of the human mind is frankly capable of such dichotomous, hypocritical beliefs? Right? To put it in more ridiculous terms, it would be no more insane if somebody would say to you, I have bitachon, total 100% bitachon, that Hashem is going to erase himself from existence. I don't understand why it's not working. I thought my Rebbe told me that if I have 100% bitachon in something, it will work. And I have 100% bitachon that Hashem will uncreate himself. So how come he's not doing it? He's like, look at the guy like, what? That's so stupid. It doesn't even make sense. Why is it any more or less stupid than the idea that I'm having bitachon in Hashem that I should never have to have bitachon again? No, I don't. It sounds almost equally stupid to me. So in light of that, now let's go back. If you are meniach oisai biad, I'm sorry. If you are meiser elokim hashkachas chovos, if you are baiteach bizulas Hashem, is what I meant to say. What exactly are you doing? You're not saying, I am relying on my car that I should never have to rely on my car again. That's not true. When you buy a reliable car, you're not saying, I'm buying a reliable car, so I should never have to rely on my reliable car again. That's a lie. What you're saying is, I'm relying on the reliability of my car. Every day, every moment, I am secure in the knowledge that my car will work because there are laws of physics that Hashem created and allow us to run. And whether I acknowledge that or not, essentially what I'm saying is, right now at this moment, why am I not worried that my car is going to not work tomorrow? Why? Because that's not realistic. Because so what am I doing? I'm relying on it. I'm relying on the realistic statistical probability that our universe runs according to. So it's a constant focus of. So when I say to Hashem, please help me win this lottery for $100 million so that I will never have to rely on you again. Why not? Why wouldn't I have to rely on Hashem? Let's say I have $1 billion. Why am I not relying on Hashem every single moment to pay my bills? Who cares if I have $1 billion or if I have $1? And in a heartbeat, I could lose all my. Hashem can't think of a SIBO. He's not capable of working the SIBOs that I should lose all my money instantaneously, and now I'll be stuck without any money. Why am I not? The answer is because when I have the money, what happens is I rely on the money. I'm saying, Hashem, I'm not relying on you because I have money. So I'm relying on the money. So if I had bitachon, I was like, we're going really deep here, but it makes a lot of sense, and it's going to answer the question that we asked last time. If I have bitachon, that Hashem will provide me with my parnasa in such a way that I won't have to have bitachon, I'm really having bitachon on the money, right? So I'm not having bitachon on Hashem. So I'm back into the same loop. If I say I want to be in a matziv where I won't have to have such intense bitachon because it's so hard, it's too hard to have that level of intensity, that level. Okay, so what I'm really saying is, Hashem, please arrange for me that I could rely on something that is not you. But I am going to be relying on that thing because there's no such thing. Every moment, the only way I feel secure is if I know there's something secure that's going on, that's securing me, that's anchoring me, right? Otherwise, I would live. Again, if I have $1 billion, why am I not worried that maybe I'm going to lose it all? Why am I not worried maybe my house is going to burn down? Why am I not worried that maybe I'm going to get hit by a car? At every moment of the day, why am I not? The answer is, that's not normal. So if I have $1 billion, I think, okay, people don't just lose $1 billion. That almost never happens. That's even rarer than winning the lottery, to just instantly, without any rational explanation, just wake up one day, bank glitch. What? You never had $1 billion. Nobody ever remembers me having $1 billion. I lost all my receipts. Chances of that are so astronomical that I rely on that not happening. So now we begin to see that being meniach yourself in the hands of Hashem cannot mean that I want Hashem to make my life good in such a way that it's easy to not have to rely on him. Because that would mean I would be asking Hashem to make me not have to have bitachon. Hashem, I have bitachon that you're going to make me not have to have bitachon. That's a violation. That means that I'm having bitachon in Hashem, that he'll allow me to rely on things that are not him. That's a paradox. Why would Hashem respect that? So the only way to trust in Hashem, really, is to remove, again, this is the highest madriga, the ultimate extreme madriga would be if I really and totally removed from my mind the possibility of trusting in anything else. Meaning, if I had $1 million, that wouldn't help. Right? I'm sure Yehuda Hanassi, the Gemara says he was fantastically wealthy. He was as rich as a king. Didn't mean anything to him. I'm sure he wasn't like, well, I'm pretty safe over here in my castle because, I got money. I'm sure that he didn't think like that, right? Because to the Baal Bitachon, having money or not having money is meaningless. I can't rely on the money, so it doesn't help me because I can't rely on anything that's not Hashem. So the second you're in a matziv where your thought process is, Hashem, please make it that my life is good and without suffering, but why? Why should that matter? Why should whatever happens at all, why should anything matter other than having bitachon right at this moment, that everything will be okay right at this moment? The second I start thinking about the future, that means I'm removing myself from this idea of not having bitachon in something in this world. Because if I'm worried about the future, if I'm worried about tomorrow, the only way for me to escape that worry is either I say tomorrow doesn't matter, Hashem is in control at every second, or I say, what's the likelihood? I have to just rely on reality, on normalcy. What's the likelihood that I'm going to drop dead out of nowhere tomorrow? Pretty low, so I'm not worried about it. Oh, so then I'm relying on something other than Hashem. I hope this was clear. I'm going to stop here and have a great Shabbos. And I think that this setup, I thought that I would be able to fully wrap this up in this video, but I tried it and I couldn't. I think that with this setup now, the next video will be able to fully understand what it truly means to put yourself in Hashem's hand, as opposed to putting yourself in being boteach b'zulas Hashem. And the reason I think this is such an important thing is because having the correct perspective on this is also going to explain so much as we go forward. We're going to see the words, for instance, the alchemist's story, the whole thing with the alchemist. It's only understandable if you have the proper perspective of being boteach b'zulas Hashem, of what the alchemist is trying to do, which is to set himself up that he feels secure for the future, not for the present. And having this proper understanding of what the contrast is between believing in Hashem and believing in Zulas Hashem, which would mean believing in reality and everything, and in chance and statistics and engineering and physics, what that contrast looks like. So have a great Shabbos, and we will resume next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do a Matzah Shabbos or a Sunday video. We will see, but if not, Monday it is.